There is always something to share in my father's house, some praises, an open rebuke, a pocket of advice here and there. You would later come to realize that this poem is a journey upland, and somehow you might get high. Trust me, most of my highs were in this house, and we held it up as a sanctuary to fellowship with the Most High. My mother was a firebender. I watched how she turned tables without breaking rules. Rule number one: it was family over everything. Do not spare the rod, do not spoil the child. Her heels were perfect rods for correcting boys like us, and boys like us knew when to take to their heels. Father was so intentional about building real estate, and he said in building this house, discipline must be installed at all cost. My father always told me, a mother's hug is worth more a million kisses out there. There is something striking about home. In the corridors of this house, I did find love. I found peace. I found comfort. A school, a home, a safe space, call it a temple, and make a priest out of my mother's prayers. We prayed and fasted and made feasts at seldom nights. My compound was a marketplace at day, and then would later turn into a gallery at night, an exhibition of family traits and family values, a playground by day and a sanctuary by night. In this house, we laughed a lot. We drew most of our life lessons from those petty plays and ground rules. Today, I make bold to say this body of mine was formed into a masterpiece back home. This is how to raise a boy child. And I feel the hurt anytime I see a boy child loosed and starved of home training. How did we get here? That a mother's eyes can no longer draw you back to other. I have known love in the eyes of my elder brother, a slap, and the tears that follows. I have been to several streets lately, and all I can see is a burning bush. There is indeed fire on the mountain. My heart burns. My heart burns for home. My heart still wants to be called a child in the midst of my brothers. I want to be served breakfast properly, not the type we have out there in the streets. I still want to be called a Yeneka Obu. Firstly, the son of Obu's mother, and then secondly, the junior brother to Obu. Eyeneka Obu was my first acceptance into double entendres, how one name could carry so much meaning. Today, if you look closely into my eyes, you will see yourself in all of this poem. In this body do I embody the components of this house, and somehow, in the rusty musings of late nights and early morning devotions, do I find myself still longing for home, to be melted into an embrace upon reaching home. I also want to call my father and tell him that the embrace of a wife is worth more than a million out there. And when I return home, I want to walk into the chanting serenades of my lovely kids saying, Daddy, oh yo yo, Daddy, oh yo yo. I still long for home.